wake up the world. We're just boys and girls. He can still wake up the world. We're just boys and girls. He can still wake up the world. We're just boys and girls. He can still wake up the world.
Hey, welcome to Wake the World Up. I know we've talked about a lot of big, exciting rides in amusement parks, but today let's talk about a classic. The one that was probably your favorite at one point in your life, the carousel. Carousels are happy. You get to ride on an animal, go up and down and around and around. The music plays the same happy tune when you are up and when you are down. They're a good reminder that we can have joy in good times and in bad times. Our story today is a good example of that too.
Paul and Silas were traveling around, doing the job God gave to them, to wake the world up to Jesus and his love. They were teaching and taking care of people. Sometimes people listened and joined their adventure. But sometimes Paul and Silas were met with people that hated their adventure. They came across people that didn't believe in Jesus and his love and didn't want any part of it. But on this day, Paul and Silas were arrested by a crowd of people who were angry at them. They were attacked and beaten up very badly right on the street. Then Paul and Silas were thrown in prison.
I remember that night well. It was the craziest night of my life. The other prison guards and I were told to watch Paul and Silas very carefully. We had to take them to the very center cell, I think, and tie them up and chain those men to the floor.
At about midnight, in the dark and dreary prison, Paul and Silas started to pray and sing to God.
Thought that part was going to be the strangest part of the night. Never heard people praying and singing songs of praise in my prison, but it's usually just quiet and sad. But their songs were just the beginning of the craziest night of my life.
The other prisoners were all listening to Paul and Silas pray and sing, when suddenly, their songs were joined with loud crashes and the ground beneath them was shaking so much, it was an earthquake.
I heard one crash and I turned around. The gates around Paul and Silas have fallen to the ground and they weren't there. I was terrified. I would be in so much trouble if they escaped on my watch. I had one job, to guard Paul and Silas, and they were gone.
The guard called someone to bring him a candle and stared at Paul and Silas standing right in front of him.
I knew that this wasn't a coincidence. I knew right then that I believed in Paul and Silas as God. And I wanted that powerful God to be with me the way he was with them. They told me all I had to do was believe, and I would be saved.
The guard took Paul and Silas to his home and told the story to his whole family. Paul and Silas told them about Jesus and his love. The guard and his whole family believed and were baptized that very night.
I helped Paul and Silas wash up. My family helped care for them and fed them. My life hasn't been the same since that one crazy night. I saw God's power and love that night. I heard and believed the story of Jesus, and now I'm part of the adventure too. The adventure Paul and Silas showed me that night. I can go wake the world up to Jesus and his love.
That story was amazing. It definitely had a lot of ups and downs. And just like a carousel, Paul and Silas had joy through it all. Even to the point of singing and worshiping after getting beat up, laying in the middle of a dark and dreary prison. Paul and Silas woke the world up to Jesus. We saw that through the prison guards seeing God's power through Paul and Silas worshiping when they could have been whining. We saw it through an earthquake and a prison break. We can worship when things are up and when things are down too. Don't just sit there, go wake the world up.